to a new episode of Equalizer. My name is William Acosta. Today we have the honor of hosting retired Colonel Amit Assa, a distinguished former senior officer of the Israeli Shin Bet, Israel Securities Agency. Colonel Assa led elite operational units specializing in counterterrorism, intelligence collection, and covert operation, shaping Israel's response to an evolving threat over a career spanning more than 35 years. He is also the founder of a spy formation where he now mentors and trains the next generation of security professionals. In this interview, we'll discuss the extraordinary career, the evolution of Israel intelligence, and his perspective on the situation of Israel following the signing of the recent peace accord. We are privileged to have his analysis and insight in such a critical moment for the region. We will also discuss his book. Welcome to the Equalizer podcast, Colonel Amit Assa. It is an honor to have you in my program today. Thank you for giving us the time for this interview.
Thank you for having me.
Colonel, can you describe what first inspired you to pursue a career in security and intelligence?
Well, I think it's very easy for me to describe it because it's connected to sometimes, and in my opinion, personally, it's connected to your personality, and I think that it's very fit for what is my personality. And I was dealing with the undercover activity, surveillance activity, etc. So field operations are in my blood. So it's very obvious that I'm also today advising in that field, even after I retired from the Shin Bet.
You're now forming what we call new candidates for spy work, basically. You are a mentor.
Yeah, I'm a mentor and also advisor and also a trainer in that field all over the world. I think in special forces and also private companies that deals with this kind of espionage in the field of spy, even business and etc.
What were some of your earliest assignments and how did they shape your approach to leadership?
Yes, I think that part of it is sitting on something that it's very unique, that it's the ability to connect with people, the ability to speak with people. And I think the most important thing that you are seeking in personality when you are checking if he is fit to this kind of a job is emotional intelligence. And emotional intelligence bringing you to the position that you will be able to feel and to understand the other side, and then you can get into the field of manipulating or doing any kind of activity that will bring you information undercover, and it's part of the job. So I think that my first assignment was showing that I was able to control my ability in that field. And moving on with my career, I was dealing with also another thing is training. And to be a trainer is not just to be a teacher, is to put yourself in the shoes of the trainees and to feel what they feel, to make them maybe achieving their goals in the training.
How did your education and earlier training prepare you for the realities of counterterrorism and intelligence in the field?
I think it's built up step by step. It's not immediately or some kind of a course that you are passing and then you will be able to do it. It's such a thing is connected to experience, and it's more a personal experience. You can never teach somebody to do the work until he will do it by himself. So I think what most I can say built my personality and my ability in that kind of job was a lot of training, a lot of experience that comes step by step, and that's what shaped my personality and also shaped my ability in this business.
Which mentors or role models most influence your professional philosophy?
I think it's not one, and it's not the person that I can point of him like somebody that you know from the news, because as I said, it's something that that pass from person to person, very unique way of personality connection. So most of my mentors was people that I met cross my way of experience, and they achieved to shape my personal operational ability from step to step. So it's not one person. Every one of them, I think, puts in my head something else, and this is including all my what I have today in my experience.
What were the greatest challenges you faced as a young officer in the Shin Bet? I know it's very competitive. It's not easy to become part of the Shin Bet. You know, Israel is a very small country. You have a lot of people that are well prepared educationally and all of that. So it must be very competitive to get your foot in the door to begin your career.
I think it's combined. It's first, I think we are looking for people that was maybe soldiers in the army, in the commando, or that the first ability is to be with the guts, with the to do things that some other personalities will be afraid to do. So this is one of the things. Another thing, if we are talking about spy work or undercover work, you have to be able to mingling yourself in any kind of social activity. So you have to be very light personality, very efficient in a way of looking at people and how you are analyze them undercover.
How did your upbringing and cultural background influence your worldview as an intelligence officer?
I think my view was changed very good, in a good way, very hard. When I met the other side, we are talking about dealing with terror attacks, and we are dealing with terror organization and terrorists itself, and we can learn a lot academically about the Islam. We can learn about a lot of our enemy from far away, but the most important thing is to meet them face to face and to see their eyes eye to eye and to understand better their way of thinking, their culture, and it's a lot of difference between this way of thinking than the other way of thinking of the Western free world. So unless you will meet them personally, you will not be able to understand it in the right way. So I think what is important in my experience is that I met a lot of people eye to eye and understood, of course, what they're motivated and what motivated them and what is their culture, because this is the most important thing when you analyze the enemy.
What specific responsibilities do your specialized unit have within the Shin Bet?
My specialty is the operational.
Your unit as a whole. Yeah. Your specialty
as a whole.
Undercover assignments, right?
Yeah, undercover assignment meaning that you are not taking any other kind of agent or any kind of source that is out of the organization, and you are working with him that he will bring the information. We are talking about agent that works at the field themselves, undercover, and bringing the information by themselves. Where there are people from the organization, not somebody outside. So my unit was the special unit that helped and also make all the operational activities to the whole Shin Bet needs. Sometimes it's terror attacks, and sometimes it's an espionage outside Israel, like Russian espionage or any other kind of espionage. So it's not the area that we're working in, it's the ability to work undercover in any kind of areas.
How did your team approach tracking and neutralizing high priority targets like Nukba commandos?
I think that you have to ask the question more that I will be understand.
How did your team approach tracking and neutralizing high priority targets? Example like the Nukba commandos.
Okay, Nukba commando, I think it's the less difficult to do because they are more covered. But when you are talking about undercover activity, and in the other side, when we're talking about terror organization, most of the activity is undercover when we're talking about field action. So you have to work undercover and do surveillance and to do other operational steps behind them, to learn about them, to learn about the activity, to learn about the connections. And when it's done undercover, it's more difficult. So you have to do it with team that will work together, sometimes even with the help from observation from the air, observation from far away equipment, some kind of ear surveillance, bugging the telephone, and also, of course, surveillance at the street that will achieve to understand who are the contact and where are they going and what is the places that we can deal with when we want to catch them or we want to approach the terror organization itself.
What strategies proved the most effective in interagency collaboration during high-risk missions? You know, I give you a good example. Before 9/11, there was a lot of animosity between agencies in the United States. One was not communicating too well with the other. You know, it's like kids in the park. They don't know how to play in the sandbox. How do you guys handle that in Israel? Because, you know, there are agencies that overstep each other.
Yes, of course, we know that at the end we are people, and people have ego. and the ego is running after us every step, because it would kill us, because with no collaboration between us, we can never win this kind of a war named intelligence. So I think we understand it very well, and even if we have other agencies that work other places, like Mossad, like the intelligence of the army, the collaboration is very, very tight. At the end, it's, of course, we have ego, and we want that the achievement will write on our name. But I think that when we are putting the ego at the side, I can feel and I can tell you that we have less problem with that in Israel, and we are losing less information, because when ego is getting in and you are not sharing your information with the other agencies, that's the beginning of the collapse.
How did your unit adapt to the rapidly evolving terrorist tactics during your tenure?
I'm sorry, again?
How did your unit adapt to the rapidly evolving terrorist tactics, the changing of their tactics during your tenure in the Shin Bet?
Look, we are talking about a lot of changing all the time, because the enemy, and also, of course, terrorist organization, they are learning you as much as you are learning them. And when you are using one tool or one way of modus operandi, immediately it will be teaching in the other side. So that will be changing all the time, and you have to change yourself all the time and be creative to be a step before the other side. This is the all thinking behind creativity, because if you are not creative enough and you are not looking for a new way of thinking, a new way of operation, you will be behind the enemy, because he will be improving himself all the time, and you will be a step behind him.
What are the psychological demands of leading teams in long-term and high-stress counterterrorism operations?
First, we understand immediately that it's a lot of stress. A lot of stress bringing you to the edge point very fast. We as a people, we know that every one of us can face this kind of an edge. But of course, if you are an agent at the field and your life is on the place, so you have to be very alert all the time. You have to feel that all the time surprise can be, and you have to be prepared for the surprise. So most of our training is to train you not to be prepared to the surprise, is to be prepared that surprise will approach you. You can't avoid from the surprise, because even if you will prepare yourself to the all scenarios, at the end the surprise will hit you. So what you have to be prepared is that at the end surprise will hit you. It's a matter of thing that you have to train people by it, and when you're training people, you're putting them all the time in a position of surprises. That's how you are building the ability for with them, that even if they don't know what will happen at the street, when the surprise will occur, they will be able to handle it.
What are the most significant changes in terror tactics over the past decade? I know the use of drones has become a major issue, and I did an article a couple of weeks ago regarding ex-special forces soldiers from Colombia and different countries that are being given money and sent to be trained in 3 schools in Ukraine for a couple of months on how to operate the drones, how to put explosives on the drones, and then they go back to work for these criminal organizations. I don't know if you saw that there was a big operation in Brazil. Over 100 and something people died. And what the federal police in Brazil noticed was that drones were throwing explosives at them, which was something that was never seen in Brazil before. Is that one of the biggest changes right now?
I think it's not the biggest changes, but of course, technology and progress in technology, given the terror organization a lot of means that they didn't have before, and the drone is one of the example for that. But still, I think that we are dealing with it, and if we are talked about it before about the one step forward to be, we know now that they are using drone, and we have technical and technology that is achieving to first to know that the drone is on air. It's and after it to make sure that it's jammed and it can't move. So this kind of technology are taking care in the intelligence, also in the army, in the Israeli army. I think we have a very good equipment now to deal with it. But this question is also bringing me to another thing, because it's not just that. We have to understand that these days, it's not that we have to deal with a war against an army. And Israel is a good example for that. We are not fighting an army today. We are fighting a terror organization. And terror organization is not tanks and air combat. It's not also at the sea. It's not big ships and submarines. We are talking about people with the sandals and the Kalashnikov that is hiding in tunnels and getting up for 2 or 3 seconds, or maybe a sniper from far away, and that's the things that we have to deal with. So the war now against this kind of fighting is a challenge that Israel have to face today, and I think that we are changing. We are changing our way of dealing with it, and most of it is in the intelligence way of thinking.
How can Israel deal with stopping the terrorists from building these tunnels? Is there any way? Because when this war started, there was tunnels that you guys didn't even know that existed. They and the machinery to build these tunnels makes noise. It doesn't matter if you do it manually, you still have to break the rock, or you have to move the sand, you have to get rid of the material. There's a lot of moving parts that go into building this type of structures. What can be done to prevent them from continuing to build so many tunnels into Israeli space?
Okay, first, it's a big question, and I will explain why. First, technically, if it's an area that you are not controlling it, as Gaza Strip before the 7th of October, when the army, the Israeli army, haven't been there. So we can't know what you are building under a school or under a hospital. You said that's a lot of noise. It's not a lot of noise. We are talking about the soil in Gaza. It's just sand. There's no rocks, so it's very easy to dig very deep without any noise or any sign for it. So it's all a matter of intelligence if you know that they are doing it, because you will never know it by other sign. So this is a part of it. But I'm getting into the main issue here is the motivation. When you are talking about dealing with terror organization and we want to win the war against it, it's not just like a war against an army, against a country. Because when you are achieving to finish a war between countries, one of the countries are surrender, and you know that you win the war because they are coming at the table and the sign of a piece of a paper that called unconditional surrender. When we are talking about terror organization, we will not see it like that. We have to kill the motivation of terror. And to kill the motivation of terror, it's a lot more difficult than to achieve some achievement at the field with an army. To kill the motivation is to bring them to understand that what they are doing is not going to achieve their goals. And now we are facing extremely radical Islam, not just in Israel, in all over the world, and it's and all the Western world, the free world, the liberal world, is facing barbarism and radical Islam that want to kill the way of life of the Western world. And when we are looking at it, the only way to achieve some kind of let's say winning this war is to control the motivation. And we have to fight the motivation. We have to get into the mind of the people and to make sure that they understand that in their steps they're not going to achieve with power, with weapons, with terror their goals. And it's not so easy. We hope that the example of what we will do with the Hamas will be able to teach the whole Western and free world how you are dealing with our organization.
Can governments reliably prevent self-radicalization online? Before they used to take the kids, or they still do, put them in the madrasa at 5 years old and then, radicalize them. But now with the use of internet and the use of social media and all of that, the radicalization has spread to the Western world, where you have radicalized non-Muslims that become Muslims through the internet and then decide to travel to training camps all over the world.
So I think first we have to say, that Islam is not bad, okay, as a religion. We are not. We don't want to stop Islam because, as we think, free world, free person can choose whatever he believes. But, and this is the big but, if Islam, radical Islam, wants to kill us, wants to achieve destroying other religions, this is the problem. And now you're saying that they can spread all over because of social media, because of teaching it at school. And now we are getting into a very important point, that we have to speak about democracy. Democracy is open. Democracy is giving you the opportunity to speak on the free in the free way in the internet and in the social media, because this is democracy. But we understand now that is killing the democracy itself. So democracy have to know how to defend themselves. So in our way of life, at the democracy, we have to understand that we have to put lines, and we have to put red lines that nobody will pass that, even in social media, even if we are talking about education. We have to put our steps to say no more. No more radicalism, no more putting words in the mind of the people that will say violent is good, violent is a good thing for you because you are Muslim, we have to conquer the world. These things we have to stop. Even if in general it's against democracy, democracy have to learn how to defend themselves.
You know, I have the Quran in Spanish, and I read it, and there is nowhere that they say violence is good. Their interpretation is either a lack of knowledge of the religion itself, or there is a part of criminality. Before you could become a terrorist, you have to have a criminal mind. They have to create that need. So criminality goes hand in hand with narcotic dealings, weapons dealings. And what people don't see is that all of these organizations in the Middle East and elsewhere that are terrorist organizations fund most of their programs through narcotic trafficking. Hezbollah, Hamas, and other organizations are in Colombia, Venezuela, Ecuador, everywhere, and they send tons and tons of drugs all over the world. Why is it that they continue to operate utilizing Venezuelan passports, utilizing Colombian passports? When you stop them in the street, they speak with an accent that is not Colombian. You could tell that they don't manage their Spanish that well, and you know that they're not citizens from that country. So Israel has a presence all over the world, including Latin America. Why is it so hard to stop them at the source? The source, if they don't have no funding, they cannot operate.
I think that it's very important, the issue that you raised up, because we see it also in our small country when the criminal are connected also to ideologically terror organization. And it's going hand by hand, especially because criminals are having weapons. And when you are weaponized terror organization, you need the weapon. So it's connected to each other, and also, as you said, financial. So what is against the law, and if there is any organization against the law, you can build on it and connect it very easily if you are a terror organization. So we are dealing with it also in Israel, and for example, our dilemma now is if the Shin Bet, as using means against terror, will get into the criminal area that belongs to the police, and will help the police with the ability to fight the criminal organization. That's just because we know, and you said it, that criminal organization is connected directly to terror. So we have to work together. But I think that, yes.
The Colombian government just did a case in a place called La Guajira. One of the biggest mosques in entire Latin America is in La Guajira, in the peninsula of La Guajira in Colombia. And there was a man with dual citizenship, Lebanese and Colombian. And he opened up a company that was supposed to be dealing with palm oil. And all of his movements when the money came in, he withdrew all the money the same day that the money would come in for the payments. And when they found out what he was doing, he was funding all of the money to Hamas to do operations not only against Israel, but in Latin America. They arrested one person. So if they arrested one person, I could tell you, especially in the tri border, they work together with the FARC, they work together with the ELN, they work together with the Cartel de los Soles. Venezuela has become a safe haven for Hamas and Hezbollah. And I think that if we don't grab the bull by its horns and join forces to attack these people, we're not going to have a place to live. Because
okay, I want to tell you something about it. It's very important what you said, because financing the terror is they can't do nothing without a financing. And what we see now that is very important that people will understand, that the Islamic Brotherhood is ruling a lot of what we see. Of course, Hamas is under the Islamic Brotherhood, but who is financing the Islamic Brotherhood and maybe building them from the bottom is the Qatar government, and also Erdogan in Turkish. Here, we can see that the Islamic Brotherhood is spreading all over the world, and we see a lot of organizations, NGOs even sometimes, that are connecting financially to this Islamic Brotherhood base. And we can see that under the umbrella or the wings of the Turkish and especially the Qatarian, that it's working financial very deeply in the United States. They're bringing in finance to a terror organization that is building the Islamic terror inside everywhere that they are connected. And also it's connected, of course, to criminal. So you can see it in other places in the world. But this is very important to say, because it's something that we see now in Israel, in the peace deals that we are trying to achieve. And we see that the Americans are trying to control the Qatarian and Turkish, of course, Radon in that case. But it's not enough, because the Americans are looking at the very specific area of us, but it's not paying attention that this is a very large organization of financing a terror all over the world under the wings of the Islamic Brotherhood. So you can easily connect financing, training, education by that, and it's a lot of money. Qatarians are spending a lot of money in it because this is the way of radical Islam to conquer the world. And I have to educate maybe the audience by saying that the Islam, even if it's not a radical Islam, the Islam is come to do the change. They believe that Jewish people or Jewish religion are replaced by the Christian religion. And after the Christian religion replaced the Jewish religion, then comes the Islam, that he has to change the Christian religion. So these two religions are not religions that they can stand. That the only religion that have to be ruling the world, even if it's not a radical Islam, is the Islam. And we have to understand it, because all of the movement, all of the achievement, all of the financing for Islamic radical organization at the world are holding the same idea that the Islam is now above all the religions in the world. So it can explain why there's a lot of efforts by the Islamic Brotherhood, that it's one wing, of course, of this activity is going on in the world, in any place that you can, and they are using the financing of criminals, they are using drugs, narcotics, they are using every means that they can to finance this idea to bring up the whole Islam ruling, the idea of Islam ruling at the whole world.
They use everything that is haram, but then they push the religion as non-haram, meaning everything that they're not supposed to do, they do. They attack people in the streets in Europe with knives, they rape women, they do whatever they want. But if I go to one of their countries and behave the wrong way, I get beheaded. If I look the wrong way, they have their Sharia law that will demolish me. They want to push the Sharia law.
It sits on the same ideology that I explained you before. When they are outside, they have the ideology that everyone, Christian, Jews, whatever religious it will be, is priority is less than the Islamic. So they have to change them. They have to put them down. And then, if they are coming to their countries, of course they are under the religious of the Islam. So it's very obvious with for them, also in the education way, that they have to do everything to change your religion to the Islam.
What prevents governments when a cleric is pushing terror at the Pope? Meaning, freedom of speech is great, as long as that freedom doesn't interfere with my safety and my freedom. Why are they allowed to travel all over the world to continue to give these speeches of hate in universities? They go to schools, they are in the media, they open up different mosques in different places all over the United States, in Canada.
I think that the main problem.
If I know it and I'm not in the intelligence field, what's going on? Who's dropping the ball?
I will tell you. I think that the very important thing that we see now, that the very big problem of the Western way of thinking is that we don't understand, we as a Western world don't understand that it's not a war about territory. It's a war about religious. And religious, there's no territory for religious war. It's not a matter of a place, it's not a matter of people. It's all over the world, have to be done and have to be achieving the winning of the religious. And if we are talking about the religious war, it's something that we have to understand that can face us anywhere. It can face us in the United States, it can face us in Colombia, it can face us in other places. And the main problem that I was talking about before is that the democracy, the way we see the democracy as giving a free speech, the free way, and we want to be free as the persons, we don't understand that in the other side, there is people that wants to kill us because we have other religions, not because any other reason.
Anti-Semitism has taken a big toll in the United States in recent months. Attacks against elderly Jewish people, attacks at schools, attacks at women, desecrating synagogues. You know, what is it going to take for people to wake up and realize that if we don't tackle this problem right now, the Holocaust will look like kindergarten trip? I believe that there are too many forces together planning different strategies all over the world, not only against Jews, but against Christians, whether you're Catholic or one of the Christian religions, Jehovah Witnesses or Lutherans or whatever religion in the Christian faith. And it is not everybody in the Muslim world, because you also have Christians that are Muslims, and you have a lot of great Muslim people that practice the religion the way it's supposed to be practiced. But this misinterpretation of the Quran is what's causing most of the problems, not only for Israel, for the entire world.
I think it's not misinterpretation of the Quran. This is the big problem that I was talking about before. When we are talking about a war of religious, just a minute, war of religious, and that the main idea is that Islam will replace the Christian religious. We understand that anti-Semitism is just the first step, because it's easy today as a propaganda to show that the Israelis and the Jews itself are killing people in Gaza, for example, and to bring anti-Semitism to another level of speech at the streets and the media. It's easy to take the Jews today and to fight with them, with a lot of money, of course, spent in this propaganda in the media and all over. But I think the world doesn't understand that Islam dealing with the Jews is just the first step, and after it they will deal also, and of course, with the Christians. So if you will understand that, you understand that it's not just the Jewish problem and anti-Semitism problem. Of course, we understand now that there is a risk and we have to deal with it, security way, and also we have to explain and do the right propaganda against it all over the world. But I'm saying to you that you asked for waking up people in the Jewish community, and I'm talking about waking up all the Western world against what's happening under the table. And what's happening under the table is the Islam wants to ruin the world, and they are doing it step by step. And we see now the achievement.
How do you assess the peace accord, and do you think it will hold? Because right after they signed it, Hamas went and executed a bunch of people in the street. How long do you think, dealing with terrorists is not easy, because they don't know how to keep their word. Their word means nothing to them. They want to achieve something, they're going to do it regardless how many papers they sign. Do you think this peace accord will work?
Of course not, and everybody knows it. Also, I think the Americans are not naive about it, because we are dealing with we're a terror organization. They have no lines. They know that we know that part of peace accord and also ideology is lying, and it's part of the word peace in the way of thinking of the Islamic radical Islam. So we are not surprised that the Hamas is not going by the rules of peace accord, but we did a lot because we knew that we will get back all our hostages, for example, the live hostages, and we achieved it. And it's very important. If we know that in front of us is a terror organization. Another thing that we have to understand, that we can't sign anything with a terror organization except unconditional surrender. And it will not happen. It will not happen until we will do it by force. We will force them and we will push them with their back to the wall, to the point that they will raise the white flag, and it will not happen by speaking and by talking in the peace accord. It will happen just with fighting and with a very hard operational army operational at the field. So we are not naives, and I think also the American not naives, especially Trump. Of course, he wants silence, he wants peace at the Middle East. He have romantic ideas of making peace with terrorism. But still, I think that he is not naive. We are achieving things step by step, as we see hostages are getting back home live, and also the dads that we have to bring them back also to their families. And I think at the end, it will all collapse, because we know that Hamas is not holding any kind of a peace paper. We can throw it to the garbage because it's not worth it. So at the end, of course, we know that we will have to win this war. And the only way to win a terror organization is when they will sign the unconditional surrender.
Dubai has become a paradise for criminals, and a lot of cartels in Latin America set up shop in Dubai, because as long as they spending their money and buying all the apartments and opening up bank accounts and luxury goods, the government is looking the other way. And Dubai is very close to Israel. And like I explained before, if all of these cartels are working with terrorist organizations, and the finances will go through Dubai and through other means, through their money laundering banks, it's easy access for them to get the funding to continue doing terrorist activity. If you follow the money, right?
I think that what's important in what you say, it's all interest. It's all about interest. If America wants to ruin the Middle East, they have to give something to the other side, to the Dubai, the Qatarian, whatever. They have to pay some kind of a price for it, and it's all interest of financing. That at the end we know, and you know, and I can speak about it day and night, that it's financing terror organizations. So and it will hit also at the stomach of any other Western world, and not just in the Middle East. But still, it's a matter of interest, and until we will change our interest, our ideology, as fighting against radical Islam, we will be able also to fight criminal and narcotics and whatever will grow under the wings of these terror organizations.
If peace falters, what contingency plan should Israel have? If peace doesn't work, what would you recommend Israel do?
I'm sorry, I was lost the first paragraph of the question.
If peace folded, if it did not work, what contingency plan will you propose Israel to have? Because, we have made a mistake all over the world that we allow terrorist organizations to become politically groups, to become part of government. They did it with the PLO, they have done it with all different organizations. The FARC now has senators in Colombia, but they continue to be in the jungles, still doing the same thing. Just that the older people are now politically protected, and now they have more power. Do you think that the world should continue to allow these criminals to become part of the government, to have their own?
Yes, I think it's a good question, because if you had asked me this question 15 years ago, I would say that the world have to put some steps to prevent it. But now I think it's too late. It's too late because people are already having positions in the governments of the Western world, and we can't do nothing about it because democracy is protecting them. But I think in that position of Israel position, we can say that what we will do here in the Middle East, I think will sign the Western world how to deal with such a threat of against the democracy. And I think if I'm optimistic, I think that Israel will achieve winning a terror organization here in the Middle East, step by step, of course, and we will show the world how to do it properly. And the most important thing that we will do is to rule the security and the security situation all over the places that we have threats with, and we will not give the opportunity of Hamas or any kind of group to rule politically any kind of an area. And if we think that Hezbollah is also a terror group, we will work with the Lebanese government that Hezbollah will not rule also politically in Lebanon. And this is the way to achieve winning a terror organization, putting him with no ability to rule political positions. And that's how we will bring down step by step the terror influence of the Western world.
What personal experience shaped your views on negotiation with terrorist organizations?
It's a very good question, because in my point of view, I don't think that we have to deal with negotiation, any negotiation with the terror organization. Terror organization is not somebody that you can do a negotiation with. They are not. You cannot rely on the words with the paper that they will sign. And the only way to treat terror organization is by fighting and eliminate it. So from my point of view, any kind of negotiation with Hamas from the beginning of the war and even before is a very big mistake.
Now, this is something that I have observed over time. Every time they kidnap an Israeli citizen, one of these terrorist organizations, and there's a negotiation, Israel has to give them 1,000 of their hardened terrorists for one Israeli. Does that make any sense? Who does that math? Who says that you have to give them so many people only for one Israeli? especially when you send in fighters and leaders back into the organization and give them new oxygen to continue operating. They don't go back home and become farmers. They go back to the...
We understand that this kind of negotiations is not making sense. We can't do that, but it's connected to what I said before. If we are dealing with a terror organization and their demands are on the table and all the time they are putting the demand higher and higher, that's because that they can. That's the only reason for it. You are giving them the opportunity to higher the demand by speaking with them. So the only way to deal with it is to stop speaking with them. No negotiation, no kind of a peace agreement or a code, and then the only way to defeat them is to fight them till the end, till the unconditional surrender, as I explained before. So we can't be surprised that we have to give a lot of people for one hostage. It's because they are demanding, and we have no choice when we are dealing with this kind of group to give it to them.
Right, but what is amazing about that is that some of the people that you give him back have blood on their hands of killing Israeli soldiers, Israeli police officers, Israeli civilians, children, women, elderly. So we are Jewish.
We are Jewish. Oh yeah, we are Jewish, and we will save life of a Jewish person and also lives in general, but especially a life of a Jewish person, and we will give a lot for that. And even if we know that we are paying a very, very expensive price, and this is a Jewish way of thinking. We will bring them home if we can, even if it's a big price, and we know it's a big price. These terrorists that we are getting out of prison, freedom, they will do immediately terror operation. They will lead the terror operations at the field. We know that they will do it because they are saying that. It's a price for us. But we are willing to pay the price because we are saving lives of Jewish person. That's why they are doing it, because they know our personality, they know our values, and they are using it against us.
Well, a good example is what the Maduro regime is doing. The Maduro regime in Venezuela is kidnapping travelers, people that travel, and then they say, 10 Americans, they were planning to kidnap and kill me. The English guy, yeah, he wanted to do this. And they set up all of this false information, against somebody that is not going to be allowed to have a trial, not allowed to have a defense attorney, not allowed to have visitors, waiting to negotiate with those countries what they want to get. So they already know that the democratic world is willing to deal with these socialist or terrorist organizations or governments because they already have our number. I am under the belief that the only way to stop criminals and terrorists is with violence. You cannot negotiate with them. There is no negotiating with them, because just how they kidnap those 10, they'll release those 10 and kidnap another 10 travelers. So that means that your citizens cannot move freely, cannot travel to those countries. You put advisors for them not to go there, right? But they could travel all over the world because we're not kidnapping them because we believe in democracy.
Yeah, I think it's a big issue. When I told you before that my point of view is not negotiating with the terror organization. It's it's the same thing as you are putting here on the table. When they know that they can achieve their strategy with kidnapping people, because they see that you are willing to pay a very high price for getting them free, they will keep on doing it. But the minute that you are fighting that with no negotiation and just by force, and you will try to achieve free the hostages by force, then they will understand that it's not a good way to use. But you have to start and to begin someplace. And Israel is doing a very big mistake now when we are putting these deals and doing it, because it's giving them the way of thinking that they can achieve strategically a lot of things by kidnapping people, and they will move on doing it over and over again. So we have to stop it somehow in some point. And in the history of Israel, a lot of years ago, there were some leaders that said no negotiating with the terror organization, and we will fight them until the end. So they will not understand that kidnapping our people, it's worth it. But we lost it on the way.
Colonel, tell us a little bit about your book. It's a infiltration games, and you wrote this book. When was that you wrote the book?
I wrote it in Hebrew version 4 years ago, and then 2 years ago it was translated to English, and it's in Amazon in this version of infiltration games. Actually, it's a fiction. It's a espionage fiction book, but it's based on real life of an agent, of an undercover agent, like let's say a Mossad agent. That what's in the book, it's not just a regular espionage novel. It's more getting into the mind of the personality, and also his stomach, and is showing all the dilemmas that agent undercover is having when he's dealing with things that threaten his life. So the book itself is getting on the personal dilemmas, the operational dilemmas that this kind of an agent facing, and it's more personal than just a novel that create a novel, a book.
If governments or entities want to get a hold of you for your training, or your mentoring or your advice, how can they get a hold of you?
They can connect me very free. I'm an open person. I'm not hiding. I'm not a secret service anymore. I'm a civilian, and people are connecting me directly. My name is my name. My number is my number. It's a risk, of course, but I'm a lot of years out of service, so there's not any kind of things that I can bring to the enemy. So obviously, people are connecting me by regular way of means.
I really like to take this opportunity to thank you for being with me today in this episode.
I want to thank you.
I would like to invite you in the future for a second part of this conversation, because there's so much material that I try to cover And I really, really appreciate your friendship. And I wish you a good Shabbat tomorrow for you and
you
your
too,
family.
everybody.
And thank you, and my love to the people of Israel. They're always in my heart and my mind. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Thank you for the opportunity to be able to speak to a new audience, maybe somebody that didn't hear my point of view in your areas, because in Israel, a lot of people knows me from the media, but it's in Hebrew, it's in Israeli programs, TV programs, radio. A lot of people knows me, and it's good for me that all over the world people will hear what I can say.
Thank you very much, Colonel. I appreciate it.
Thank you.
Shalom.
Thank you very much. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. A sincere thanks to our guest, Colonel Amit Assa, for sharing his experience and expertise with us today. To all of our listeners, if you enjoyed this interview, please give it a like and share the links you see on the screen with your family and friends. Your support fuels the Equalizer podcast and our mission to bring you impactful and thoughtful-provoking conversations. A special thanks to my production team for making this program possible. Until next time, this is the Equalizer podcast, where experts meet for real-world analysis. Stay safe and God bless.